Hello, hello. Welcome back to the Be Amplified podcast. I'm Amy Patee, the host. Thank you so much for being here today. And if you are brand new here, this is a podcast for conscious entrepreneurs interested in letting their energy lead in their business, letting their most natural energy, their most authentic self really be what leads in their business. So if that's you, stick around, subscribe if today's show resonates with you. And today I want to talk about the art of pivoting your business, pivoting your offers, your services, pivoting maybe away from a goal that you've had in your own business to a new goal. And this has been up for me in the last couple weeks. I've just been thinking about pivoting and how I've pivoted so many times in my business I've been in business for myself for over 25 years and I have pivoted many times. I've launched many new offerings and products, workshops, series, classes, retreats, all kinds of things throughout the years. And I'm at an interesting time in my life. I'm at the middle age point. I'm 48 years old, and there's a lot going on at this age. There's a lot going on in the world also. Let me just say that for sure. There's a lot shifting in the world. Technology is going bonkers. I don't even know what work will really look like in the next decade. It's going to completely transform. But I personally have been just sitting in this space of feeling a little exhausted with all of the doing over the years and really wanting to drop into my ultimate zone of genius and to be able to make my business as simple as possible. And I have to admit, when you're in business for yourself, you have to be on most of the time. Kind of depends on your business. But if you're in business for yourself and you are like the face of your business, the brand of your business, you have to be on most of the time. And a lot of what you are sharing is coming through you. And that can be exhausting. That can get really exhausting. And so part of my reflection over the last week or so, I was really reflecting on just like how nice it would be to just go get a job, to go work at a coffee shop and just be able to show up and make some lattes and then come home and just not have to think so much about it, not have to invest so much of myself into it. And so that was one idea that was coming through as like a pivot, right? And a little bit of a longing, an internal longing to just be able to go work, go use my energy, go do some busy work, but not have to really be on as much as I typically feel like I have to be on with my own business. But this led me down a pathway of really contemplating my own business as it is right now and beginning to ask myself questions like, what do I love the most about my business? What feels the best in my business when I'm doing it? What feels the easiest? If I had to just pick one thing, what would it be? And I've been sitting with those questions. And the reason I named this show, or I said the topic was going to be about the art of pivoting, is that we can get really hardwired to do things in the way that we've always done them, and to do things the way that we see other people doing them, and to do things the way that we've, read about in books that we should be doing them. And it's an interesting thing when you start to slow down, take a little pause, and do some reflections, especially ask yourself these questions. What would be the easiest? What would be the simplest? What would be the most joyful? What would feel the best? And what would put me in my zone of genius, where my work actually does feel like play? Because I'm in my zone of genius, it doesn't feel like work. It feels like play. What would that be? And when you ask yourself those kinds of questions, you have to soften a little bit, let some of that hard wiring that is in your business inside of you, let some of that hard wiring soften, let it melt a little bit so that you can pivot, that you can morph, that you can let go of what's not working for you now. Now, this has been a little bit of my own personal journey, but I am also teaching my human design and business immersion. It just started recently. We're only a couple weeks in, and I've had some beautiful conversations with the participants, and I've been hearing some similar things. There's a theme running through the participants in the program, and it's this theme of dropping in to this deeper natural energy that's, within each of us, dropping into our human design and beginning to understand it, embrace it, embody it, and realizing that when we anchor into us, our natural self, that we may no longer align with or even desire what we previously thought that we wanted. And that there's something about aligning with your natural human design, with your natural energy, that just puts you right into your zone of genius. And it's a place of ease, it's a place of flow, it's a place of play and joy, it's a place that feels good. And what if we get to do business from that place and we get to actually make bank from that place, be abundant from that place, and enjoy ourselves, enjoy sharing our gifts with the world, enjoy doing our great work with the world in a way that feels easy. I think that when we drop into our zone of genius, when we connect with our natural energy, and we start to look around and realize, wow, everything I've built or created or have been working towards is kind of complicated. It's kind of messy. It's kind of complicated. It's kind of noisy. It's a lot. There's a lot of extra steps here. What if I can let go of the bulk of all of the things I've been doing and instead anchor in more fully to my genius, my inner genius, my natural energy, and begin to move from that place in a really simplified yet potent way? What would happen? What would happen in my work, my business, and my life? And I get the sense as I'm contemplating and reflecting on all of this for myself and talking with my students about it, I get the sense that this would create more spaciousness in my life. It would create more ease, more flow, more joy. It would create deeper levels of satisfaction and fulfillment. It would let me be me in the most impactful way. And how can I shape that? How can I shape that and create a beautiful offer or product or service that lets me be in that zone of genius? And am I willing to pivot? Am I willing to pivot away from other things I've been doing, other ways of doing things? Am I willing to pivot and let go of old goals or ideas I had about my business and where it was headed? Am I willing to pivot into deeper alignment? Choose to go with the flow versus swimming against it. So I'm curious if any of this is resonating with you, if it's making sense to you. I'm curious if you are feeling this inside yourself, this sense of your inner genius, your natural energy kind of coming online a little bit stronger. And if you're in business for yourself, if you're feeling this need to simplify, if you're feeling this need to let go of the noise and to really choose what feels easy, what feels joyful, what feels nourishing to you, what feels abundant to you. And if you're like me and you're in this space, reach out, send me an email, drop me a DM, or even leave a review on this podcast and share a little bit about your own experience, because I am curious. I often feel like what I'm personally going through is also happening at a collective level. And it's just a matter of opening up our mouths and sharing with other people where we realize, wow, a lot of people are going through this. This is happening. So embrace the pivot, embrace you, embrace your zone of genius. And if you feel drawn to embrace the joyful, easy, fluid path in your business and your work, go for it. Give it a try. Simplify things. And you might discover that by doing less, you are actually becoming more potent, more amplified, and shining a little brighter out there into the world, making it easier for other people to find you and your services and your offers. All right. I think that is all I'm going to say. That was a little bit of a rant, but I hope it makes sense. And yeah, I would love to see all of us as soulful entrepreneurs really being able to work in our zone of genius and to feel a sense of flow and ease and joy and spaciousness in our lives. Yeah, all the things, all the things. Okay, my friends, thanks again for tuning in today and listening. And remember to subscribe if you're new here. Give this podcast, this episode, a review if you enjoyed it. And check out the links in the show notes. I've got a new human design and business immersion launching this summer. You can get on the wait list for that. You can also download your free human design chart or check out my one-on-one offerings. I have a mentorship that is a 3-month program. And I also do one-on-one human design readings, which can be extremely illuminating if you want to discover your natural energy. All right. Until next time, have a beautiful rest of your day.